Let's go to segment number 2. This is a really fun one. This is just some light fare. Friend of the show, Donald Trump, has another book coming out about him. This one reported on in the Daily Beast. Trump called evangelical leaders pieces of shit. New book claims. What a guy. I can't wait till he's president again. It's going to be so much fun. This is a rare example where I think the sequel will be better than the original.
Make America hilarious again.
This is going to be like Godfather 2. You know, it'll be one of those rare examples where I think the sequel will arguably surpass the original.
It might. It's going to be the Empire Strikes Back.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Of deranged presidencies.
There you go. There you go. During the 2016 GOP primary, as Donald Trump battled with Senator Ted Cruz for the party's nomination, the eventual president referred to the Texas Republicans' fervently evangelical supporters in Iowa as so-called Christians and, quote, real pieces of shit. A forthcoming book by Atlantic staff writer Tim Alberta claims, according to the book titled The Kingdom, the Power, and the Glory, American Evangelicals in the Age of Extremism, an event gone wrong at Liberty University left Trump upset after he infamously pronounced the book of the Bible, a book of the Bible, why am I reading that wrong? A book of the Bible book while allegedly...
this is what happens when Jews start using godly words.
That was a typo in the article. It says mispronounced the book of the Bible book. It just mispronounced the book of the Bible while allegedly...
Mispronounced a book of the Bible, while...
Yeah, that's their fuck up.
Exactly,
fucking Daily Beast. The laughter and ridicule were embarrassing enough for Trump, Alberta wrote, according to The Guardian, which obtained a copy of the book in advance of its December 5th street date. But the news of Perkins endorsing Ted Cruz just a few days later sent him into a spiral. He began to speculate there was a conspiracy among powerful evangelicals to deny him the GOP nomination. Well, as a Jewish guy, I got to say, it's refreshing to hear that the evangelicals are the subject of a secret cabal of conspirators who are working against Trump. Trump later reportedly told a Republican official in Iowa, these so-called Christians hanging around with Ted Cruz are some real pieces of shit. Shit. Now, let's go to the
this is why they killed the Knights Templar.
Exactly. Let's go to the event in question, folks. This is a bit of indulgence, I admit, but this is one of the all-time great Trump videos. It reminded me of just how much I love it. Here's Trump citing two Corinthians at Liberty University.
2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17. That's the whole ball game. Where the Spirit of the Lord, right? Where the Spirit of the Lord is,
right?
There is liberty. And here there is Liberty College, but Liberty University. But it is so true. When you think, and that's really, is that the one? Is that the one you like? I think that's the one you like because I love that.
The one you like.
It's so representative of what's taken place.
Is that true? 2 Corinthians 3:17. I mean, what else could anyone possibly have to say but that, right? Am I right? 2 Corinthians.
Am I right? That's that's the whole ball game right there.
Then there's the video 2 Corinthians 1 chalice, but that's a little too much for you. That's not for you guys.
That's a little bit too much. They found it in an illuminated manuscript. They had to put it away. That's hidden in a locker in the Vatican.
Yeah, we won't get into that.
Only the Pope's allowed to see it. And reportedly, he looks at it every night.
2 Corinthians 3:17. I mean, that's about all there is to it. Am I right? That's the one you guys like, right? You people like the 2 Corinthians. It's amazing. So a couple things. First of all, it's been reported widely that a lot of the Russiagate stuff really made Trump, who's already kind of a paranoid kind of personality, as you could see here. He thought that there was this cabal of evangelicals that were trying to rig the primary for Ted Cruz, But I imagine the fact that he's such a maniac means that whoever works for Donald Trump has a front row seat to like the best book material you could ever hope for. So he's got to be paranoid to a certain extent. His paranoia is justified because everyone working for him is going to be so tempted to write a book about their experience after, which means he could never really confide in anybody. Because how could you not write a book about your experience working with Donald Trump? It just seems like every day is, 10 pages worth of great shit like this.
Well, it's it's the snobs versus slobs thing. Watching that, it's like, okay, man, this is like a scene in a Rodney Dangerfield movie where he gets stuck having to talk to church people for whatever reason in the plot, and he has to pretend he knows what he's talking about. Yep. Yeah, 2 Corinthians, that's the whole ball game, am I right?
Am I right? Yeah.
And this is part of why he's burying Joe Biden. That is the side of his appeal that people never understood. Hillary was such a perfect foil for a snobs versus slobs story. And Americans love that story. We recycle it again and again and again and again. In fact, that story is as old as American drama. The earliest plays that we wrote as Americans very often had the theme of the plain talking Americans showing up Americans who fetishized European fashion and manners. That runs very deep in us, and nobody's ever played to that as well as Trump does. It was the secret of Bush's success too, Bush too. Even though he was from this aristocratic family, he seemed like a moron, and he talked with that thick Texas accent that he cultivated, and it made him play as this slob.
Right. Well, that's the other thing. I mean, there is a class element to this too, because I think that's a really, really good point. But I think a lot of like blue collar people who haven't ascended the quote unquote meritocracy, admire someone's ability to bullshit their way out of a tough situation or bullshit their way into the good graces of people who might not accept them otherwise. Whereas like the real like achievers, the PMC people, the real like meritocrats, not only are they not that way, they're very offended by that. They're very offended that someone like Donald Trump, who's so unworthy of success, is able to just bullshit his way into it when look what we've done. We've gone to the right schools and we've studied and we've gotten grants and scholarships and we've climbed the corporate ladder through hard work and blah, blah, blah. They're very offended by a guy like Trump, who was born rich, but also has been able to bullshit his way into superstardom and into the most powerful seat in the world. They hate that about him. I think a lot of the blue collar people like that about him. Like, I didn't go to college, and to the extent that I have college credits, I basically cheated my way into all of them. I don't read the books they assign. I just bullshit my way through everything. And so to see a guy like Trump who's able to just bullshit his way into success, I think blue collar people look at that and be like, God damn, he's good. You know? That's the way I see it. I admire that about him. I admire that this fucking guy has the balls to go to Liberty University and just 2 Corinthians. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I mean, you love that one, right? It's great. I mean, when you think about it, that's really the best one. It's amazing.
I'm here every Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm here every Tuesday.
See me at the next Bible study.
Exactly. What's not to love?
More insight on Scripture.
Like, if you know how inherently unfair and rigged in favor of the PMC the system actually is, you love seeing a guy go up there and bullshit his way through it. It's satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, that fits that overall theme. It's part of why, even though he's born rich, he plays as this common man, because he's at odds with the people that they hate. And partly because, as you say, he doesn't know how to speak those words.
Right.
Those words. It's not that they're not full of shit. They're full of shit in a far more dangerous way than Donald Trump is. But it's in a sanctioned way. When you watch these goons that the State Department sends up to field questions from Max Blumenthal, they're as full of shit as Trump is, but within the prescribed norms of bullshitting. They're bullshitting the way you're supposed to bullshit. He's bullshitting out of bounds.
Exactly.
Please clap.